Hey y'all, what's up? I have a question for you. At the end of the year, do you really know where all of your money went? If you don't, you're not alone. But if you're not tracking, you could be overspending in some areas and starving your growth in others. Today, I'm going to show you how to budget smarter by looking at your annual numbers in percentages. And I'll give you a few simple ways to add it all up without creating more work for yourself. Don't like math? I have an Excel spreadsheet for you to capture all the categories where it adds up itself and percents out the categories for you to take a look at the bottom line. Month-to-month budgets can be misleading. You might have one huge job in May, then nothing in June, and it throws off your perspective. Looking at the full year smooths things out and shows you the real health of your business. That's where percentages make sense because they give you context, not just raw numbers. Here's a solid benchmark for contractors to measure against. Labor costs are usually 25 to 35% of annual revenue. Materials and supplies, 25 to 30%. Overhead like insurance, office trucks, and software should be 10 to 15%. Marketing and advertising, 5 to 10%. That profit should be 10 to 15%. Now here's the part most contractors struggle with, getting the numbers together. The good news, there are multiple ways to do it depending on how hands-on you want to be. One, you can use a bookkeeping software like QuickBooks, Quicken, or Xero. Connect to your accounts, categorize expenses, and let you run an end-of-the-year report. You can hire a bookkeeper. They'll keep your books clean and hand you reports you can actually use and reports for your tax returns. Spreadsheet do-it-yourself, export bank statements, drop them into Excel or Google Sheets, and total up each category. I have a link for this in the video verbiage. Envelope or bucket method means that you separate your deposits into accounts, 30% labor, 30% materials, 15% overhead, 10% marketing, 15% profit. At year's end, you already see where your money went. Let's put it into practice. Say your annual revenue is $500,000. Your labor was $175,000. So 175 divided by 500,000 is 35%. That's right at the top of the range. Materials were 160,000. So 160 divided by 500,000 is 32%. Well, that's too high. Together, labor and materials are taking nearly 70% of revenue. Now let's look at marketing. You spent 8,000 on screen. 8,000 divided by 500,000 is 1.6%. That's way below the recommended 5 to 10%, and it explains why you're always scrambling for leads. The math makes the picture clear. Now you can also start pricing your jobs correctly. Here's why this matters for you pricing your jobs. If you know your business runs at about 30% labor, 28 materials, and 15 overhead, then you can, every time you bid a job, you can quickly estimate what your true cost will be and make sure you build in profit. Let's say you're pricing a $50,000 project. Using your percentages, $15,000 to go to labor, $14,000 for materials, $7,500 for overhead, and $2,500 for marketing. This accounts for lead generation costs, and then $6,000 for profit. Now your total comes to $45,000 in cost plus $6,000 in profit. That means your price should be around $51,000, not $50,000. If you bid lower than that, you're cutting into your profit or not covering overhead. This is how tracking your numbers helps you price confidently. Instead of guessing or underbidding to win the job, you're protecting your margins and ensuring your business stays profitable long term. When you budget by percentages, you stop guessing and start steering your business. You'll know if you're overspending, underspending, or underpricing your jobs. So here's your next step. Pick a tracking method, software, bookkeeper, spreadsheet, or different accounts method. Run your year's numbers and compare them to the benchmarks. If this video helped you, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment on which method you're going to try. And if you want to make sure your marketing budget turns into steady leads, reach out. I'd love to help you put those dollars to work. Click on the site in the description to gather your own Excel spreadsheet to start experiencing how to get control of your budget.